Now let's head to David McCredie. We've got the line back. Dave, of course, the CEO of the British Chamber of Commerce here in Australia. And the question that I asked you before we had our audio problem was in and around Freedom Day and how things are going in the UK.
Look, things are going reasonably well, to be honest, Tim. We're in a situation where the rise in numbers that you would expect because the lockdown has ended and things have opened up has happened, but it hasn't happened nearly as dramatically as what was feared. There are still cases, and basically what we've seen is from that initial Freedom Day peak, it's basically flatlined across number of cases, new cases per day. Over the period in between. Hospitalisations are down on what we've seen previously, and indeed deaths are down to a few a week. Or it's to put it more accurately, for every 100,000 people who go into hospital, there's one person who dies of COVID. So it's a much softer experience now than obviously, particularly at the beginning of the year where we saw the really bad case numbers in the UK.
And it's something to give Australia a lot of hope because basically that's the direction that we're moving in over the next month or two or couple of months is that vaccination to see the freedoms.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been terrific to see people being able to go to theatres again. Obviously at the cricket between England and India at the moment, which is quite interesting. But also, just getting back to normal life, and certainly the conversations I'm having with people in the UK now is very much. We're back to business as usual. We're open for business, and they're really keen to see how we can progress. We've got this agreement in principle. We're not far away from an FTA. What are we able to do together? How do we get ourselves being able to travel, hopefully, backwards and forwards between each other's countries again soon, and certainly start that trade and investment story really kicking off with that new lustre and vigour because of the FTA that we're about to sign.
I've never looked forward to a warm beer quite so much. Now, Ian Botham has been appointed on the subject of cricket. Ian Botham has been appointed as trade envoy to Australia. Tell me more.
Yeah, so the UK have decided that there are a number of countries around the world where they'd really like to highlight the fact that they are in a new situation, having left the European Union, to come out and strike these free trade agreements that we're obviously on the cusp of, as I said. And so what better person in terms of an Australia-UK relationship to appoint than Lord Botham? Obviously well known for his cricketing prowess and the great battles and the times he's destroyed us, and made some interesting comments at times about Australia. But he's very passionate. He loves Australia. His wine collection is made of mainly South Australian reds, I believe, and a bit of Margaret River whites. So he's invested here. He's part of the fabric here in different ways. So to have him really just highlighting the opportunities and giving us some lustre, it's terrific. And to be honest, looking at the other trade envoys that have been appointed around the world, I think we got the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, well, it's like a second home to him. I've had the opportunity to travel on long cricket tours with Ian Botham. A great personality who has a very soft spot despite destroying us a few times. Now, that does get to the Ashes, and everyone's asking me, are they going to go ahead? I always say yes, because I just think they will. What's your view? I know you've been speaking to quite a few people through the course of the week.
Yeah, look, I'm very confident that the Ashes will go ahead. I think we're at that point now in terms of our vaccination rates that we'll be at. Keep in mind the Ashes doesn't actually start until December, so we've got the most runway that we possibly can have. The Brisbane test, which is normally a week earlier or a week and a half earlier than it is, has been pushed back. We've rearranged the Cricket Australia have rearranged the schedule, so the last test isn't the Sydney test. It'll be a test in Perth in mid-January. So we're giving ourselves the best opportunity to do that. Talking to people on both sides over the last week, they're very confident that there won't be any problems in terms of the travel to get players here. I mean, we've seen the Australian Open and other things go on, so we'll be able to do that. And with the vaccination rate around the country, meaning that lockdowns shouldn't happen anyway, we should be able to freely travel to each and every state and get the test matches in, which is the most important thing. And the Chamber will be able to have a lunch everywhere around the country with with Lord Botham, hopefully, at each of those to celebrate along the way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the season of culture will be launched this week. Tell me more, Dave.
Well, we can't just have a sporting relationship. Our relationship's much broader than that. And the British Council and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade for Australia, led remarkably well out of the UK, of course, by former Arts Minister and now High Commissioner George Brandis. He did have a few other titles apart from arts, but that was certainly one of his passions as a minister. Have come together to bring as many different projects as they can together to swap venues and to engage with each other over the next, basically about next 12 months. The season kicks off with British performances, artists, artworks travelling here to Australia. There's a variety of things, including items from the British Museum. There's performances, all sorts of different things. Obviously, link in with things like the Sydney Festival, the Adelaide Fringe Festival during the coming months, and then we'll be going to the UK, taking the season on the road from Australia's end. And there's a variety of performance actors, etc., from this end going across the UK. But it's not just about culture in that art space. It's also about science. It's about innovation, creative industries, and really looking to build and boost that relationship that we have between Australia and the UK in that sector as well.
Yeah, and the timing could not be more perfect, David. I think everyone, whether you're a sports lover, an entertainment lover, a science lover, is just ready to do whatever is possible. Good to talk to you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tim.